So I'm interested in talking to you about sprites and what a sprite is. You can search for sprites. I searched for street spider sprites, and it gives you like all the little mini pictures and all of the pictures that it takes to have some. Here's a kicking, so the feet are on the ground, one's picked up, and then there's the kick. So it's all the little movements that it takes to put together an action. And you can search for anything. Like there's Michael Jackson doing a moonwalk. There's penguin sprites, there's turkey sprites, there's cat sprites. There's anything you can kind of think of for the most part. So in the description, I gave you a penguin sprite. We're going to edit this down a little bit by using a website, and then I want to show you how to use that in Animate. So I want you to know that there's sprites available to you. As a non-artist, I appreciate the sprites that are, you can search for Mario sprites, any kind of sprite, but then I need to edit them down. And this is probably not the best way to edit them, but this is the way we're going to use for this class, for this demonstration. There are tons of editing tools. I'm just going to use remove.bg. I want to upload this penguin that we just downloaded, and then we want to edit this down. So I'm going to go ahead and click on edit, and I'm going to use my erase and see how big the brush is. So I'm going to start erasing all these penguins on the bottom because I don't want to see a penguin dying. This one's sliding, this one's jumping. I just want the penguins that are walking. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is zoom in on this picture and get rid of all of these penguins on the bottom. And I'm also going to get rid of the words at the top. I did have to zoom in, so there's a zoom feature up here. I'm going to get rid of these words, penguin character. So I'm left with these 4 characters. And I'm going to go ahead and download that just for safety. If I need to come back to this image to download it later, I can do that. This didn't delete. I want to get rid of it. I might have got his head. We're just going to get the idea here. Remove that. And I'm going to go ahead and download it. Just to be on the safe side, download the image. So this is called Penguin Remove Preview 2. The first one was 1, I guess. I don't know. You just have to know your files. So just kind of pay attention to them as they get downloaded. They might get downloaded in the bottom left here too. It depends on your computer. So I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. Then I'm going to delete all of the rest of these penguins except the first one and hit download. So now this is the same thing but with a parentheses 1. Now I need to upload this picture with just the 4 penguins. So you can see it made my penguin of my first penguin is there. So I'm going to go to open. Oh boy. And this time I'm going to do the same kind of editing. It's going to make me do the robot. Authenticating. I want to keep editing all of my penguins until I get them all each individual. So I do need to go to erase. I want to erase the first penguin, and then I need to erase the second and the third and the 4th penguin. And I'm going to download that second penguin. And then repeat the process so that you have the 3rd and the 4th penguin as well. So I do need to download the image, make sure it's downloaded. I'm going to restore this time a little bit faster. I'm going to go to erase the first two penguins. Maybe adjust my brush size. I want to adjust this one. I think I'm going to have to upload those 4 penguins again. So let me start this all over. I'm going to start a new one. Get the 4 penguins. I have multiples. I'm going to have to figure that out. But this time I do want to edit it so that I remove the first 2. This last one. Still some remaining penguin left of the second one. Download it. So you're doing your own editing behind the scenes. And then I want to get rid of leave the 4th penguin behind on this one. So I have all 4 penguins in the walk sequence, and hit download. Okay, so let's put this in Adobe Animate. I can go to File, Import, Import to Library, and I want to go to my downloads, and I need the first one, I need the second one, the third one, and the 4th one. I downloaded some extras, so I want to be careful as to what I'm picking, and open those up. And they just went to my library. So Control L, or you can go to Window, Library. So I'm going to go ahead and insert some blank keyframes. So I'm skipping a frame, and then inserting a blank keyframe, skipping a frame, inserting a blank keyframe. So to get these penguins on here with my library, looks like they're out of order here a little bit. That looks like the first one. So I'm going to drag this penguin onto the screen. And then on the next available frame, going back to my library, drag this penguin onto the screen, but I can't see where my other penguin is. So I'm going to use this onion skinning. I'm going to move him a little closer. Then on the 5th frame, back to my library, I have to figure out, there's my 3rd penguin. Move him on the screen. And then on frame 7, move my last penguin on. And then if I take off the onion skinning and play it, I look like he is walking across the screen. So I would keep doing that. Add a blank keyframe, copy this penguin, paste it, or move it from my library. But there's another way I can do this with a movie clip. So I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to lock the bottom layer. And on frame 1, I'm going to go ahead to insert a new symbol. It's going to be a movie clip. I'm going to call it penguin and hit OK. Then again, from my library, I'm going to put these penguins, but I'm going to pay attention to that plus symbol right there. I'm going to put it so his tail is at that plus symbol. And I'm going to go back to my library, skip a frame, same kind of thing. Let me skip a frame, go to my library. This is my second one. Put his tail where that plus is. Blank keyframe. In my library. Put his tail where that registration symbol is. Insert another blank keyframe. Grab my 4th penguin. So I made a movie clip of this penguin walking. He's walking in place though, and that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to go back to my scene. And that's my previous penguin. So that's a penguin that I had there before. I'm going to go ahead to my first frame, go to my library, and now I have this new symbol. So these all have an image symbol. This is a symbol for a movie clip. I'm going to drag this onto the screen. So he's up here. I'm going to do a create classic tween. So I'm right clicking on this keyframe, create classic tween. I'm going to come out here a little bit farther. Let's go to 50. Insert a keyframe on 50, and then move the penguin to the other side of the screen. So when I hit enter, I don't see anything. It's just a penguin sliding across the screen. But when I do control enter, I now have him walking across the screen. It's happening really quickly. So if I need to, I might go back to my edit, double click on this symbol, and I might need to just stretch these out a little bit. So I'm highlighting frames, dragging them over, highlighting frames, dragging them over. And then let's see what it looks like now. So if I play control enter, I slowed the walking down. It's not as blurry, but it is still blurry. So I want to keep editing. If I double click right on him too, I can slow him down. I'm going to really slow him down to exaggerate it. And then if I go back to my scene, which is this white arrow, I can do control enter, and now that slows him down a little bit so you can see him walking across the screen. And that is the idea. Let me even drag this out. Now he's really walking across the screen. I use more keyframes. And that's the idea of using a sprite as a movie clip or just within your document. And you can go ahead and submit this penguin file.